I'm going to share some aspects of my profession as a physician and as the coroner for St. Tammany Parish, a portion of what I do every day. Hopefully it is a portion of what my profession does every day that you will never have to encounter. I will read from you a case file that occurs approximately every 10 days in St. Tammany Parish. And while each individual is different, they all share one thing in common. They're permanent solutions to temporary problems. That is how suicide has been characterized by many people. A permanent and everlasting solution to a temporary, transient problem. The body is clothed in pink pajama pants, white panties, white bra, and a white t-shirt. There is blood spatter on both forearms and hands. The autopsy is limited to head only. Evidence of injury: perforating gunshot wound of mid-forehead. A large gaping injury is present on the forehead, nose, and posterior portions of the head, secondary to a gunshot wound. The edges of the wounds in the forehead are approximated. There is soot and searing in the middle portions, consistent with a gunshot wound of the mid-forehead, between the eyebrows. The remaining brain that is present weighs 1,050 grams, but is markedly macerated. There are multiple basal and calvareal fractures. There is soot on portions of the frontal bone consistent with a contact gunshot wound. There is defects as well to posterior scalp and cranial fossa. No projectile or metallic fragments are recovered. The overall direction of the wound is front to back. Specimens for laboratory studies, blood and vitreous specimens, are retained for drug and alcohol screen. Provisional diagnosis: contact gunshot wound of middle forehead, marked craniocerebral injuries, perforating wound, no projectile recovered. Think for a moment of the impact of the words I've spoken upon your friends, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your grandparents, those who love you and care for you and are glad to see you each day, to see your smile, to see your cries. And yet, to have to be confronted one day with news that I've just read to you. News that a permanent solution to a temporary problem had occurred. Your friends, the ones who sit next to you, the ones who go to school with you, the ones who come to church with you, the ones who pray with you, the ones who love you, can no longer help you. They can no longer be by your side. Those are absences that are forever. You die. You have the power and the control to decide if you commit suicide or not. That is one complete power that you have. We are here for enlightenment, for one another, to share aspects of life that are difficult to handle, but solutions are available, readily available. The tears that begin when life ends are a trail of tears. When I considered the words that I would share with you, I wanted you to see the professional aspect of how we take care of a body, but not necessarily how we take care of your soul. That is for you to decide. And that is the mission of your loved ones and your family and your church, to help you in life's day-to-day battles, travails, and its joys. The trail of tears, though, never end. My trail of tears began and continue with the death of my own son. At 17 years old, my son decided to end his own life. The personal side of suicide is a very painful, personal, protected aspect of our being that we do not share lightly. I, as a father of 2 children, one of whom ended his life, the other, who is here with us tonight and will speak with you shortly, and as the husband of my wife, Dr. Allison Galvan, who is a pathologist, a physician, who performs the very autopsies that you saw on this screen. We together as a family have been to the mountaintop, literally and figuratively, and we have been in the valley of despair. Tonight, we share our story, my professional story that you have seen, but my personal story. And with that, I will ask my wife to say a couple of words, and then my daughter.
Hey there. How y'all doing? Well, you know, we never thought we would be here. I never thought I'd have to be standing up here talking to you young people about my own son, who was your age not too long ago. These are one of those things that you think, that could never happen to me. That could never happen to my family. That could never happen to one of my friends. But it can. Sometimes it does. Why did my son decide to take his own life? He was 17 years old. He was about 3 weeks into his senior year of high school. Well, he was upset. His girlfriend broke up with him. He was worried about school, worried about his ACT scores. Some of you probably know how that feels, huh? A lot of stuff to worry about when you're a senior in high school, isn't it? But he made a decision that there was no turning back on. There was a lot of people out there who could have helped him, who wanted to help him. But he made a decision, an impulsive decision. And I don't think he really thought it out. I don't think he thought about what would happen. Not to him. I'm sure you guys all believe, I know I believe, that he's in a great place and he's happy. But what happens to those of us who are left behind? Imagine for 1 second, I want y'all to think for 1 second, close your eyes and think about your best friend. That person who you were the closest to, think about them. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you never saw them again, ever. Now imagine living with that for the rest of your life. Because that's what happens to those of us who are left behind. Now I know you don't want to hear any more about us old people talking about what happens in the rest of our lives, but I'd like to bring up to speak to you now somebody who I think you guys can relate to. My daughter Allie, who used to come to Journey back before she was a big freshman at LSU. She was a regular here. And I think she can give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to be one of the people left behind. So come on up, Allie.